Big stretch. She would never say where she came from yesterday. You want? Okay. She usually likes it when I sing. Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. Let's be serious now. I am a fan of the Rolling Stones, but I only own probably less than half of their studio discography. And it's mainly the early years that I don't have any of their albums. But I thought it would be fun, at least for me, to rank the albums I have of theirs. And also, later this week, I think it's near the end of the week, Robert's on my turntable and Glenn Kellaway from the basement. We're going to get together and do a video. It's not going to be a live chat, but we're going to get together and record it. And we're going to be ranking all of the songs on Baker's Banquet and Let It Bleed. All of the songs together. So it's going to be kind of fun. At least for us three. And I have 11, well actually 12, but I have 11 albums of theirs that I'm going to rank right now. So in the 60s, of course, I was a huge fan of the Beatles, and for the Rolling Stones, I think I do remember seeing them on the Ed Sullivan Show and not caring for them too much. But then around the time of I Can't Get No Satisfaction, hearing that on the radio, I liked that. And I liked, some of their other songs. Lady Jane, Ruby Tuesday, I always loved. And the first vinyl record I ever had was the Rolling Stones' Through the Past Darkly. Big Hits Volume 2. And this is when I realized, you know what? I think I really like the Rolling Stones. Yeah, this is the US version. There was a UK version with a slightly different track listing, but this one had Paint It Black, Ruby Tuesday, She's a Rainbow, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Mother's Little Helper, Let's Spend the Night Together, Honky Tonk Women, Dandelion, 2,000 Light Years from Home, Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Standing in the Shadow, and Street Fighting Man. All of those songs I absolutely love. And there's there. But I like the Beatles a bit more. So through the years, I would buy, when a new Rolling Stones album would come out, I would buy it. Tattoo You, Emotional Rescue, Some Girls, Sticky Fingers. Some of them one of my older brothers would have, and I wouldn't maybe own it, but I would know of the album. And through time, I would buy them all, or most of them. I did give up on them completely, though, after probably, I think, Voodoo Lounge. It took me a minute. It's just Molly. Yeah, Voodoo Lounge is, I believe, the last album of theirs I bought, and it wasn't bad, but just I kind of lost interest in them. So, in order of what I have of the Rolling Stones, starts with their Satanic Majesty's Request. What a easy title to say and remember. Baker's Banquet, Let It Bleed, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. Now, of course, this is a live album, but usually I wouldn't rank it along with the studio albums, but this is so well loved and everything that I'm going to include it. Sticky Fingers. Exile on Main Street. Goat's Head Soup. It's Only Rock and Roll. Some Girls. Emotional Rescue. And Tattoo You is the last one of theirs that I have now in my CD collection. But I would, yeah, I did buy Undercover when it came out. I love the song Undercover of the Night. But the rest of the album was kind of not that great. But maybe, you know, in time, when you go back in time and you re-listen to an album you thought you didn't care for, you end up liking it sometimes. So I would like to get Undercover, and of course some of their early albums, probably the UK versions of their albums, like Between the Buttons, I've never owned. And yeah, at some point I would like to own all of their whole discography, up to a point though. I think after Bill Wyman left, it just wasn't the same. So maybe I would stop there. So I'm going to turn off the camera. You're welcome. And I'm going to decide how I would rank these, the ones that I own, and I'll be right back. I'm back. That didn't take long, maybe about a minute. So my least favorite of the albums that I own is It's Only Rock and Roll. I love If You Can't Rock Me, Ain't Too Proud to Beg, It's Only Rock and Roll But I Like It, Till the Next Goodbye. And then the second half just isn't quite as strong as the first 5 tracks or so. But it's not a bad album. It's just, it's a good Rolling Stones album, but I don't think it's a great Rolling Stones album. But you can disagree with me, it's okay. We can have our own opinions. Next, so I have 11 here. So number 10, I'm rating it this low just because I never really play it. But it is a great live album. I really should play it more. Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. I absolutely love, yeah, Midnight Rambler. But yeah, I just need to listen to this more. It's been a while since I've heard it. And maybe it would go up in my rankings. And I love that album cover too, with good old Charlie Watts and a donkey. Number 9. There's Satanic Majesty's Request. I love this album. There is some, I guess you could consider it filler, like Sing This All Together, See What Happens. But In Another Land, 2000 Man, She's a Rainbow. It's a classic. And 2000 Light Years from Home is possibly my favorite Rolling Stones song. So I would say probably a good 75% of this is excellent, and then the other 25% is good or just okay. Number 8. I feel this album is very underrated. I think it's actually excellent. Emotional Rescue. Yeah, Dance, Summer Romance, Send It To Me, Let Me Go, Indian Girl, Where the Boys Go, Emotional Rescue, of course, and All About You with the lead vocals by Keith Richards is another one of my favorite Rolling Stones songs. Just the way he sings it. I know he's not a great singer, but I love the emotion in his voice. It's like when he's singing to you, you believe what he's singing about. So, not the greatest album cover though. Number 8, once again, very underrated. Goat's Head Soup with another I think maybe some people do like this album cover, but I'm not a big fan of it. And I've said this recently, it's like the text is so hard to read with the yellow background, but yeah, Dancing with Mr. D, Coming Down Again, Heartbreaker, Angie, Silver Train, Winter, Star Star. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, I do like it more than Emotional Rescue. So I would give, it's not as strong as the earlier albums like Baker's Banquet and Sticky Fingers, but still, it's a great Rolling Stones album. It's underrated. Don't get me mad. Number 6, Tattoo You. I always loved this album. I was really impressed with it when it came out. Start Me Up, of course, it's one, I'm not as big of a fan of it now because it's been so overplayed, but there's no denying it's a great opening track. Yeah, Hang Fire, Slave. There's a couple of songs that aren't quite as good as the other songs on this, like Neighbors I'm not a big fan of, and yeah, Black Limousine. But overall, it is great. Worried About You. I love the second half, which is a little more mellow. Tops and Heaven, No Use in Crying, and of course, Waiting on a Friend. Number 5 is one album I just can't completely get into. But that being said, I need to listen to it more. I don't, there's some Rolling Stones albums I play a lot more than other ones. And one of the ones I don't play as much as I should is Exile on Main Street. But I love side 1 with Rocks Off, Rip This Joint, Shake Your Hips. Casino Boogie, Tumbling Dice is great. Happy, of course. But it's just, as the album goes along, I kind of start to lose interest in it. But I just need to listen to it more. Because I know it's a great album. So yeah, I didn't want to rate this below Tattoo You because I know overall, with all of especially the opening songs on this, I do love it more than Tattoo You. But I want to love it even more. Number 4, and once again, because I'm doing this series with Robert and Glenn, I've been listening to these 2 albums a lot lately. And in the past, I knew I had heard them, but I didn't really pay enough attention to the individual tracks. It'd just be, I'd know Sympathy for the Devil and Street Fighting Man and Midnight Rambler, of course, and You Can't Always Get What You Want. But it's the other songs that I really need to focus on more. And that being said, these are great albums, and I'm really enjoying, I'm going to be playing them a lot more. And that's why I need to listen to Exile more. So out of the 2 at the moment, but it could change by the time we do the video. Number 4 would be Beggars Banquet. I don't want to say too much because we're doing the video, but it's number 4. And number 3, just by a hair though, is Let It Bleed. I think could you imagine if this had come out as a I was going to say as a white album, as a double album? For me, there isn't really a bad song in either one of these. There's, of course, my least favorite songs, but even those are pretty damn good. So yeah, 3 and 4. Number 2, Some Girls. I remember when this came out, and it just kicked butt. Miss You, back in the day, it was, the Rolling Stones have gone disco, but you know what? If they went disco, they did a mighty fine job. because it's a great song. When the Whip Comes Down is awesome. Yeah, Lies is probably my least favorite song on the album, but it's okay. But other than that, every song is really, really strong. And I love the closing track, Shattered, and Beast of Bird. It always reminds me of a friend, Gary. When this came out, he used to think that Mick was singing Pizza Burning, that's it. I'll never be your pizza burning. Maybe that's what he was singing. And Far Away Eyes would be one of my top 10 Rolling Stones songs. So yeah, respectable, and just so many great songs. The Rolling Stones in their prime. Number 1. I don't think this will ever change. For me, Sticky Fingers. Brown Sugar, a classic opening track. Sway is awesome. Wild Horses, Can't You Hear Me Knocking, You Gotta Move, Bitch. I like saying that. Think of somebody from my past. Bitch. I feel better now. I Got the Blues, Sister Morphine, Dead Flowers, and Moonlight Mile. Did you know it's Glenn Kellaway's favorite Rolling Stones song? And you know what? It would be in my top. It might even be, along with 2,000 Light Years from Home, it might be number 2. It took me, I've always known this album, and it's just like Excel on Main Street. I needed to listen to this more, and a few years ago I finally got to know the whole album from start to finish, and Moonlight Mile is a classic. It's one of the greats. And Keith Richards isn't even on the song. I bet you didn't know that. So yeah, number 1 for me is Sticky Fingers. So ending this, I would like to know, like I said, I want to get Between the Buttons and their earlier albums too. But I think I want to stick to the UK versions, even though I know that Between the Buttons, the US version starts with Let's Spend the Night Together, and it's not on the UK version, which kind of sucks. And yeah, I've never owned, I did actually, Black and Blue. I did have it on vinyl at one point, but I didn't really care for it, but times change, and I might. So what would you suggest? What do I need to buy next for a Rolling Stones album? Or what 2 should I get next? And I would love your thoughts on these albums that I have, and what are your favorite Rolling Stones albums? Like maybe you list your top 5 or your top 10 in order. And I do read every comment, as you know, and I heart them. I heart them to show, yes, I read your comment. It's like a thank you to. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.